Turn the
Great.
whole
Could
time,
you
bro.
imagine if he just made it funny? Could you
Yes.
imagine if he made his apology fucking funny? Could you imagine he did an Idubbbz eye contact, like a
Yeah,
content cup on
content cup.
himself? Nobody, like, I'm sure people would still do it, but
Yeah.
way less people would have been dunking on him. He should have made a skit where he goes back in time or something, sees himself by his computer, like he like dresses up like old Idubbbz, and he has like a gun, and he's like, "Don't say it" or something. Like, he could have made this way funnier.
Yeah. So and I don't say this as an indictment. I say this as a transparent thing that we would all realize. And I appreciate your answer, because I think your answer allows me to like more clearly parse that out as didn't care. And I don't mean that in a but didn't care. These are not people that you know. And that was something I think kind of struck me, right? Because in watching your video, a thing I wanted to ask you about was, how come Tana, of all the, you only singled out one person to apologize to? Why her?
I think
She was a white girl.
because I kind of just took it to like another level. Because I think a lot of commentary channels, they can feel very comfortable and justified in speaking about a variety of topics because they're not like in person harassing people, and a lot of them are avoiding saying like the slurs, like I was saying. They're keeping it to like a certain level where they look around their community and they're saying like, well, I'm not doing anything like that polarizing. I'm kind of I'm riding the line a little bit more. And I think for Tana specifically, she was, I think, the youngest person I've made a video about. And I don't know, it was just, she was, I guess she was also in, I think the worst part about it is going to her meetup, because she was in what would feel like
he agrees with us.
a safe space. She's already,
Yeah, it sounds like it, totally.
So
Yeah, I thought
he's sticking up for himself a bit.
A little bit. Well, he doesn't know that he's sticking up for himself. Like, he doesn't know that Olay is leveraging this like racist claim against him.
Right.
Right.
At least I don't think he knows. But didn't he talk about this in the apology? I thought he said all this.
Well, yeah, he did, but she didn't. She doesn't listen. So
Okay.
She said she watched the apology video. He's saying everything that we postulated. She was the youngest.
Well, I didn't postulate it. I was just
It's just-
thought,
yeah,
I
it's
was
just
saying what I
obvious.
thought he said in the
Repeat
fucking
what he
apology
said.
video.
I didn't watch the apology video,
Okay.
so I just had to take your word for it.
Okay, Olay.
Which, yeah, look, come on. I don't have time for this shit. Look, I'm sure it was a great apology video. It
Oh, yeah,
looked a little
wonderful.
embarrassing to me, so.
It was
but
too
anyway.
cringy for you to watch.
the worst thing is that he didn't name it Content Cops Idubbbz. Would have been so lit.
Oh, that would be great.
Turn the whole
Could
time,
you
bro.
imagine if he just made it funny? Could
Yes.
you imagine if he made his apology fucking funny? Could you imagine he did an Idubbbz eye contact, like a content cup on
content cup.
himself? Nobody, like, I'm sure people would still give a shit, but
Yeah.
way less people would have been dunking on him.
They
True.
wouldn't have.
The
They would have
vibes-
said it wasn't sincere, though. He would have got that charge.
That is
Well,
true, right.
no. This is what we agree on, Adam. Is that people perceive vibes way more than anything else. If he was making jokes, she was right. The vibes would have been completely different. The problem was that it looked like it had the vibes of him being like on the ground, getting ready to fucking clean someone's shoes and kiss their feet and cry and shit. Like, if it had been funny instead, he could have said exactly the same things and gotten a completely different response. I think she was completely right.
He should have made a skit where he goes back in time or something, sees himself by his computer, like he like dresses up like old Idubbbz, and he has like a gun, and he's like, "Don't say it" or something. Like, he could have made this way funnier, and it's just really depressing.
Yeah, but you're right. But the thinking is like, the problem with that, which, well, that would have been great content, even if you disagree with the message, is that the people he was trying to, apologize to,
would not.
they
have
would say,
accepted it,
yeah, they would say this is not sincere. They'd say, oh, he's just making fun of it. It's just a joke. Like, they wouldn't understand that he's trying to be funny and sincere at the same time.
This mopey.
He could have some sincerity in it, like after the little skits and whatever.
These people are idiots, Shu. I don't know what to tell
I know,
you.
and also, like, they're never gonna accept his apology anyway, so why even
Right.
bother? Like,
True.
here's the thing. So he has like a quote edgy. I fucking hate using that word, by the way. Like, this edgy audience, right? They're gonna be more perceptive to funny things, And if you want to change your audience's mind, you don't do it in a way where you're looking down at them, wagging your finger at them, calling
Yep.
them racists and all this fucking bullshit. You do it in a way that they're going to be like, huh, you know, he's pretty funny. Like, he's still himself, but he's, you know, he's moved on with his content.
Right.
And he fumbled the bag, I fear.
He should have contacted you.
Yeah, I don't look. Apologizing, I think, is a mistake. Nobody ever
Well,
accepts an apology anyway, and I agree with what you're saying about doing the funny content and just being like, but people are going to perceive it as not an apology. Like the whole idea behind shame and this mopey face and all this and flogging yourself is that you're basically saying, look, I'm so embarrassed of what I did. I'm going to punish myself here. You don't have to punish me. Look, I'm punishing myself. So if he does funny content, it just doesn't read the same way. So,
right.
yeah,
But it would have been better.
it would have been a lot better. And then at the
Better
end of it, he
content.
could have said, fuck you. I'm not going to apologize. I did nothing wrong.
Already putting herself out there at a meet and greet. I wouldn't even do meet and greets. You know, she
Yeah.
was
I do think like meeting a content creator in person is kind of stalker-ish. And I think that is crossing a line. So I'm
Right.
Yeah, that's
Underst-
creepy. I would have hated that.
yeah, understanding that and feeling some remorse for it, you know, I'm on board with that. Okay.
At the
Sure,
time, I
sure.
thought it was hilarious, but looking back, I'm like, yeah, I understand why he's
It's a little weird. I
he's
mean,
feeling a little apologetic. It's
Yeah.
understandable.
Sure, sure.
doing a meet and greet, and I jump scared her, and
Yeah.
you know, who knows what my intentions were. She had no idea. No one there knew what my intentions were, and that's a scary situation to be in. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely valid. You're right. There is a fair situation to that, and that makes me think of Francesca Ramsey, who I have spoken with. She tells us a story about being terrified in the airport when she runs into one of your fans.
When I encountered one of his fans in the airport, I had to ask myself, am I going to exit this conversation and continue
Safe.
to have my life?
Jesus.
Wait, how did she know that? I guess they told her.
What? What?
I'm an Idubbbz fan and I've got a knife.
I'm gonna fucking
I'm
kill
gonna
you.
say the N-word.
What fucking
I'm
content did
gonna-
Idubbbz do? That was like, listen, Idubbbz told me to take out MTV Decoded. I played Content Comp backwards, and this was the message I heard. Like, what the fuck? What is happening? Does this? This
I mean, like,
can't be real.
I don't want to doubt her. It is absolutely possible this happened, but it just sounds so goofy.
it does.
I'm an Idubbbz fan. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Well, how do you know the person didn't say, look, I like YouTube. You and Idubbbz are my favorite content creators.
Well, that's the problem. I feel like Francesca is so unhinged. I want to know very specifically what they
Yes.
said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they could have just, yeah, you're right. They could have just said like, oh, like I really liked MTV Decoded, and then they talked about being an Idubbbz fan. Instantly, she's like, you know, like the Kill Bill
Fearing for
siren
my
starts
life.
blaring in her head. You know,
That sounds less realistic. Nobody liked MTV.
Damn, that's a good
jeez.
point. That's
Like
a good
it
point.
was all
That
like
person
bots.
exists. Come on, Stu.
That's a great point. Yeah.
You think
they're
there's a person
rare.
out there who
with
enjoyed
it-
MTV Decoded?
And
Yes.
Idubbbz, there's no way both.
It's
The most
possible.
enlightened centrist of all.
Exactly.
No, there was a
Exactly.
person that ran up with an Idubbbz shirt. They just said they kept asking her if she was fucking gay, and she's like, "What's happening?"
It's like somebody with a Facebook group with 3 members. It's like the Shoe and Lacey Green fan club. Why can't we find more members?
Wow.
This is bad. Did we hear?
Yeah.
Hold on. Did we hear this part in the previous
No.
25
but-
minutes? Okay.
No. So there was longer. There was more that was cut out.
I love it that we finally got to the interview, and now we're back in the Francesca talk. It's like, oh man.
I want to
Yeah.
hear this story. This you know what, this always bothers me when someone in an interview says some crazy thing happened to them.
You have to ask them the follow up.
Tell me the specifics. Why would you let this
Yes.
go? What the fuck? Tell me specifically what happened.
Like, my life could be in danger, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so you know, again, that's why when there's all of these conversations about don't call me a Karen and don't call me white and don't call me racist, it's like when those names are used, your feelings are hurt.
I mean, literally, should call Franny a Karen for the situation.
But when someone calls me the N-word, I have to wonder, is this person going to try and kill me?
Someone
Is
called
my-
her
am I
the
going to
N-word?
lose my life?
Like, wait, hold on. The Idubbbz fan called her the N-word.
No, that's
That's what
not.
the implication is. Yeah.
No.
This was at an airport.
No, that's
At
not.
an airport, someone wearing an Idubbbz t-shirt said, "I love Idubbbz. You are an N-word.
Look,
Effer.
the chain.
And then everyone stood up and clapped, and the pilot clapped.
And then James Woods from Ghost of Mississippi came out and shook his hand.
I was there. I was the airplane.
The,
Oh,
the
God.
chain of logic here is Idubbbz used the N-word. This
Right.
person was an Idubbbz fan.
Right.
This person walked up to Francesca and said, "I'm a huge fan of MTV Decoded. Oh, and I love Idubbbz too." And she,
You N-worder. And then
no,
walked
no,
away.
never said
Oh.
that.
Oh, okay.
She perceived her life being on the line because this
Well,
person
no, she
said
she
Idubbbz.
implied the person in this conversation called her the N-word, and that's what made her
No, she
afraid for her
didn't.
life.
No.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Back
She
it
said when
up.
someone comes up
Back
to
the
you and
Wait.
says
tape
the
up.
N-word,
Back the
Maybe
tape up.
Adam's right. Maybe we misheard.
Yes.
I
So
never mishear
exit
anything in my life.
this conversation.
Ride in the airport when she runs into one of your fans.
When I encountered one of his fans in the airport, I had to ask myself, am I going to exit this conversation and continue
Safe.
to have my life? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
like my life could be in danger, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so, you know, again, that's why when there's all of these conversations about don't call me a Karen and don't call me white and don't call me racist. It's like when those names are used, your feelings are hurt. But when someone calls me the N-word, I have to wonder, is this person going to try and kill me? Am I going to lose my life right now?
Who
She
tells-
doesn't say the person
I said she's
called her the
implying.
N-word.
I know. I
That-
said from
that's-
the beginning
that's-
she's implying that
Well,
they
this
called her the
person
N-word,
could
yes.
mean Idubbbz, Ian.
They're calling
No,
Ian the N-word.
It's the fan.
I think she's just like comparing, like, oh, white people get their feelings hurt when they're called racist, but I could
Mm.
get killed when I'm called this slur.
Right.
I don't
right.
know if she was connecting
No,
to
she
the guy
wasn't.
in the airport. Okay.
It's poor
Well,
fan.
she needs to fucking explain. Listen, Olay,
That
you did a
was-
shit job in that conversation. Be like, tell me the specific story that happened here, lady. Unless she
Yeah.
did, and it was ridiculous, so she cut it out.
Of
It's
course.
possible.
who comes up to her and says, I watch and I know you from Idubbbz videos, and the fear she felt in not knowing what this person is for her. And I
Look,
think-
she's,
Wait.
she's completely mischaracterized. This
Wait.
is insane.
Wait. So Olay is claiming that someone came up to Francesca Ramsey and said, "I know you from watching Idubbbz's video."
That didn't happen. I just watched the interview.
What is this Idubbbz fucking video? How come no one knows what this video?
This video that doesn't exist. And that's not what Francesca said. We just watched it.
Well, we don't even. Francesca didn't really give any details, so we don't know what the fuck they said. But
This
Okay.
is so bad. This is so bad. She's
I-
just
I wish-
going by
I
what
w-
she feels Francesca said.
I know. I wish Idubbbz would be like, I never. Who? Like, what are we talking about here?
why I asked the Tana question is this, and I think you're right to apologize to Tana. I don't think you're wrong to apologize to Tana. I think what I really want to unpack is the decision to apologize her exclusively, because if you watch that video as someone like me who didn't watch your content and who isn't familiar of the larger array, you would think that this is the only person, you know, or maybe the way I read it was, okay, he's been in trouble for using this kind of language and racial slurs and all of this, but the only person he individualizes is a white woman. And he says, you know, he apologizes maybe to the black community
There it
at
is.
large, and it would lead you to believe that no black person was individually picked on or targeted, and that's not the case. And I think what I find interesting is that even in apologizing for doing racist things, a white woman is who was apologized to, as though there weren't black people who were called the N-word. And I wonder, because that took me down a rabbit hole of
So just to clarify, do we know of any instances of him calling a black person the N-word?
No.
No.
All right, cool. That's what I
Why
thought.
did Idubbbz go to this woman if she doesn't even know who he is, didn't watch his content, whatever? He should have like kind of tried to find maybe some black fans of his and like talk to them.
Yeah, I agree.
This
yeah.
is like, so
He doesn't
you
have
just
any
find
black
any
friends, Joe.
like fans, like you, and I know he does because I lurked his comments a little, and there was some black like people on Twitter like responding to him like, bro, why are you apologizing to this random like woman just because she's black? Like,
Yeah,
what are you
totally.
doing? Like, talk to your fans. And I think that would have maybe have been a better move
Mhm.
because like Olay isn't your audience, and also a lot of these people that he's kind of like signaling to, I don't. They also won't be his audience because like if you look at the views of his like channel, like obviously this new audience isn't coming to like support him.
They're
These
bad
people aren't-
faith.
These people aren't even watching. They're like, "Oh, honey, I'm so glad you grew and changed. It's called maturity." Like,
Mhm.
blah 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 blah, and then they just like don't show up to support him. It's like,
Right.
what has happened? Like, I don't know, but apologizing to Olay and Francesca,
Yeah.
although I apparently allegedly there's a video where he made fun of Francesca is just bizarre to me because like how is Olay relevant? I guess she has the platform for him to do it on.
Well, it sounded like she was saying that I don't know who that guy is that she went to Career Clash with, that Alex guy. It sounded like she was saying that Alex somehow knew Idubbbz or something, and so maybe that's how they got connected to each other.
No idea.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. He should have reached out to someone who's a Black content creator who's actually familiar with his
Right.
content, you know?
Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.